Hello, level 2/3, moving on from our mobility, and I've done a quick dress change because it's a different day. We're going to go straight into our workout. So let's start with our feet hip distance apart. Remember, we can take our thumb little finger, take it over the toes, and just check that the little toes sit in between those 2 points. Bend your knees. If you have a band, we're going to use our band here. If you don't have a band, don't worry, but you could do this with a pair of tights, it'd work just fine. We're going to take it round the legs, step them together for a moment, tie a nice bow, and then step back to your hip distance and just check that it's in place. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to step out, hold for a moment, and then step in. Do the same to the side, step out, so you're going a little bit wider than hip distance apart, and step in without falling over. So step out, step in, step out, step in, step out, step in, step out, step in. Now this time, so one more step out to the side, step in, hip distance apart, step your legs nice and wide. Let me just move my block. Step your legs nice and wide. So whether you've got the band on or not, it's okay. Okay, it's up to you. Turn your feet up by 30 degrees. We're going to push. I'm putting my fingers on my band to keep it on my thighs. I'm going to push out. I need to sit my legs a little bit wider. I can see that from the mirror. So we push, 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 push. Now as we go side to side, you get a stretch, but we're working as well. We need to check we can see those toes. We don't want the knees to surpass the toes. So we're going over, over, over. We've got that band adding extra resistance to the legs. Over, over. Just for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Now come over to the right and just hold it here. So this leg's straight, my work is happening in this thigh, and I'm going to have a little pulse just for 8. But as I pulse, I'm not going to surpass those toes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Change. Other side, and again, hold it, and then let's pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to the centre. Let's just do side to side one last time. My thumbs are on that band, keeping it on the thigh. So 1 and 2. Let's just take my legs a little bit wider again. 3 and 4. So while one leg bends, the other straightens. Nice and steady. I've got that pelvic floor engaged. I'm on that third floor with my pelvic floor. I've got that abdominal connection happening. Nice and steady. And I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out as I come to the centre. 4 more. Last 2. Last 1. I come to the centre, I'm walking and stepping in. And I'm bringing, falling over. I'm bringing my feet together. So my feet are together. I'm going to turn them out like Mary Poppins. And I'm going to hold them there. So it's really like a 5 to 2 and a 5 past 2. Bring your hands to your hips, tailbone under, something we do in bar here. So core's engaged, abdominals engaged, bend. It's a little plie. So just bend nice and steady. So we've got that band there, offering extra resistance. Controlled. So like I say, if you didn't have a band, you can do all this without the band. Or you could tie a pair of tights around your legs. Sounds daft, but obviously they have got the elasticity. So it's not going to be as hard as using a band, but it's still going to add some resistance. And I'm inhaling and I'm exhaling. Let's just have 4 more. Last 2. Last 1. Now take it down, just hold it here for a moment and let's have a little pulse just for 8 and 7 and 6 and 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Come up, turn your heels out. We should automatically have gone into hip distance apart. We're going to monkey squat. If we've got shoulder issues, we can just keep our hands by our side. But if we want to, we can lift them up. So nice and steady, let's inhale and exhale. So reach, pull the arm back. Reach, pull. Take a peek, check you can see your toes as you come down. If you cannot see your toes, push your bum further back. Core engaged, nice and steady. And I'm exhaling on that way up. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. Let's stay at the bottom. Bring your hands across your chest. Now as you hold this position, you're going to come up and down. So heels up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down. For 4, lifting into the balls, the toes, 3. Last 2. Last 1. Relax, come up. Very gently bringing your feet together. Hands on your hips, shoulders relaxed. Bend one leg, big toe rested on the floor. Gently bring your index fingers across. Check that they are level. If they're not level, then you need to bring your hands across, readjust. Remember, if you know that you've got diagnosis and one hip's higher than the other, then they're never going to be level. We're not going to get that adjustment, so don't worry about it. So holding that position, we're going to take that leg out and in. So option 1 is to just let that foot slide along the floor. Option 2 is to lift. So we're creaking that leg up. But as we do it, our shoulders are staying level, our hips are staying level. So nice and steady. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And this supporting leg's nice and strong. Remember, you could always use a chair for balance. We can push our tongue to the roof of the mouth. Controlled. Just for 4 and 3 and 2. And just hold it up, just hold it there. So working balance, stability, strength. 4, 3, 2, 1. Feet together, easy peelers. Just lift your heels off the floor. Little pedal up and down. Little pedal up and down. Squeaky floorboards. And very gently bring it down. This time, just move off that squeaky floorboard. Then the opposite leg. So big toe rests on the floor. Shoulder blades backing down. I'm going to check something. Oh, it is filming. I couldn't see the little red light flashing and I thought, uh-oh. So toes just resting on the floor. Remember, we can skin it out along the floor or we can lift. Hips are level, shoulders are level. We're just taking our time. Pelvic floor engaged. Inhale as you take it out, exhale as you bring it back. Find something to focus on. I'd say don't use me because I'm like jelly, I wobble. Find something in the room you can keep your eyes on to just assist you keeping that focus. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. And last 1, hold it. Hold it, hold it, hold it. And gently bring it down. Take the feet down. Nice and steady. Tailbone under, shoulders relaxed. Just going to ease it out a little bit. This time, what we're going to do is we're going to take our hands by our side. We're going to lift and then bring it down. As it comes down, it comes back to hip distance apart. So it's all 10 at sides. So we lift Holding for a moment, bringing it down. That pelvic floor's engaged, that abdominal belt's engaged. We lift. That foot can be anywhere between the floor and hip and up to hip height, and bring it down. Bringing it back to where it started. Lift, inhaling. Exhaling. Lift. See how I tilted to one side there? We don't want to be doing that. Last time on the left. Now this time, last one. I'm going to sneeze. Breathe down. Apologies. So this time you're going to take it up and we're just going to take it on that one side and we're going to hold it in place. Excuse me. So nice and steady. Inhale, lift, hold. Rotate your head if you're comfortable with that. Otherwise, keep it looking forward. Let the head look over the shoulder. Hold it there. That's going to challenge your balance. Nice and steady. Firm roots, pelvic floor, abdominal belt in place. Rotate the head back. Bring it down. Foot comes from where it lifted off. Opposite side. Lift. Once you're there, turn the head. Remember, you don't have to turn the head. Remember, you may be using a chair to help you with your balance. Definitely don't use me. It's just having a cheeky little cheap using the wall to keep you upright for a moment there. Bring the head back. Bring it down. Sassy, walk it out. So swing it out. Swing it out. Nice and steady. Let's come down to the floor now. We're keeping our band in place if you've got one. We've got the length of the mat in front of us. We've got that tailbone tucked under, cores engaged. Let's lift, inhale, lifting those arms up. Exhale, monkey squat, hands to the thighs. We take a deep breath. As we exhale, we gently come down onto all fours. Hands are beneath the shoulders and knees are beneath the hips. Tailbone is pushing to the back of the room and shoulder blades are drawing slightly together. Elbows are soft. What we want, if we can, is to have a little bit of that softness in the elbows. Eyes and nose looking down, not under, not in front. And if we've got wrist issues, then we can take our hands into a knuckle. That's going to give your table a slight tilt. Okay, that's okay. Or you may want to rest a tea towel or a hand towel to rest your hands on to aid the wrists. So, tailbone to the back of the room, shoulder blades joined together, core nice and strong. Let us very gently start with lumbar tuck. So just tucking the tailbone under and back. Excuse me, my nose is suddenly gone very snivelly. So nice and steady. Tuck under and back. So under and back. And the eyes and nose are looking down. Excuse me. Not looking under, not looking in front. I've got my juicy peach under my chin and I'm just bringing that movement into the lumbar spine. Nice and steady. Getting that synovial fluid, my lubricant for the joints, flushing around the body. And then very steady, tuck it under, hold it in place. This time we're going to take alternate arm and leg and extend out. So just that one side, we're sticking to just one side, we take it out, we draw it in, comes back where it started. Stick with that same side. So right arm, left leg. Keep going for a moment. I just want to talk you through it. So as you're going through this movement, ensure that your shoulders are level, ensure that your hips are level. So you shouldn't be tipping to one side. If you feel you're tipping to one side, you need to make your range smaller. So maybe don't tip the leg or the arm as far out or lift them up off the floor. Maybe you just have them on the floor, okay? Either way, you're still working hard. That pelvic floor's engaged, that abdominal belt's engaged. Keep that softness in the elbow, looking down. Nice and steady. Let's have one more, and this time let's just take it out and let's just hold it out. So we take it out, we hold it out, nice and strong. Very gently bring it back. As you bring it back, just take your knees as wide as the mat, big toes together. Let's come back in shell. And remember, if this is uncomfortable, have your knees facing forward, feet forward. You can stick your bum up in the air, or you can just come back into that child's pose, taking the bum down. Let the head come down between the arms, let the arms reach forward. If that's uncomfortable in the shoulders, just let the arms relax down and hold it there. Excuse me, yawning. I'm snivelling, I'm yawning, I'm a right mess today, aren't I? I do apologise. So nice and steady. I think it's the hay fever, it's a bit high, the pollen count's a bit high today. Nice and steady. So very gently, taking a deep breath, let us come back onto all fours and let us come over onto the other side. So hands beneath the shoulders, elbows soft. Tailbone pushing towards the back of the room, shoulder blades joined together. You've got that perfect table. Opposite arm and leg this time. Comes out, keeping everything level. Then we draw it back in. So just on that one side, in and out, taking your time. Now breathing in, excuse me, as you extend out. Exhaling as you draw it in. So breathing out as you extend the arm and leg, and exhaling as you bring it back. Nice and steady. And remember, if you're struggling with your hips and shoulders, keeping them level, then just slide them out. Don't lift, just slide them out. Or maybe make that lift smaller. Don't let it be as big. Last one, take it out, hold it out. Hold it here, we're contracting. Nice and stable and strong. Just for 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back, knee comes down, take your bum onto your heels, rotate your wrist in one direction. And then rotate your wrist in the opposite direction. Now all we're going to do is, I'm going to grab my block for this. It doesn't matter if you haven't got a block, okay? You could, I guess, do it on your cushion. But basically all we're going to do, so you could do this on your hard back foot, but you really don't need to do it on your block, okay? So toes behind you, hands across the chest. Pelvic floor's engaged, abdominal belts engaged. We could have our toes tucked under, or we can have our shoelaces to the floor. We're going to come back by 30 degrees. You're going to feel this into the front of the thighs, and then we're going to come up. So we're going to inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So 4 more. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. And relax. Gently bend, come back down onto all fours. Popping the block to the side if you so wish. We don't need it at this point. Very gently coming back onto all fours. Nice and steady, hands beneath the shoulders, elbows slightly soft, shoelaces to the floor. You're going to turn your left foot out by 30 degrees, out to the side. Gosh, my feet look filthy in this video. So nice and steady, turn it out by 30 degrees and rotate, extending one leg out behind you. As you rotate, you lift, and we're here in side plank. We've got our wrist, elbow, shoulder, shoulder, elbow, wrist. Now we can challenge our balance that a little bit more. We can keep looking forward, Or we could look up the arm towards our thumb. That's going to challenge our balance. Or we can lift the leg and hold. Doesn't matter if your band shifts, if you've got it on. Feel mine riding up towards my glutes. And we're holding it here. Nice and steady and strong. The core is engaged. I've got that abdominal belt in place and pelvic floor's engaged. And I've got a nice straight line going on. Now I'm going to bring my top hand, take it towards my head. I'm going to bring my knee in and my elbow in. And I'm just going to have 8 of these. You're going to feel it in your glute. A little bit maybe into the side. Nice and steady. 4 more. Last 3, 2, 1. Come back to your side plank. Foot on the floor, leg lifted. Bring the hand down. Rotate onto all fours. Shell stretch. Knees as wide as your mat. Big toes together. If shell stretch is uncomfortable, child's pose or pushing the bum up into the air. Reach forward. Let the head relax between the arms. Excuse me, and hold it there. Nice and steady. Take a moment. Just enjoying that stretch. Tailbone tucked under, breathing nice and deep. Very gently, bending one hand by the head, then the other. Slowly push up, bring your knees in, and just rotate your wrists in one direction. So rotate in one direction. And let's rotate them in the opposite direction. And then let them relax, shake it out. Oh. Coming back onto all fours again. This time, let me change direction on my mat so I'm still facing you. So this time, elbows soft, hands beneath the shoulders. You're going to turn your right foot the opposite leg to last time, out by 30 degrees. Rotate, extending that leg out. Rotate up. Arms directly above one another. We could be looking forward. We can keep this foot on the floor. We want that nice straight line with the shoulders. We can lift the leg up. Hold it. We can look up the arm, challenge the balance even more. Stay in that position, nice and stable and strong. Bend the hand down to the head. In and out, just for 8. Knee and elbow come together. 6, 5, 4. My body does not like this. 3. Last 2. Ouchie. 1. Come back. Hold, hold, hold. Bring the foot down if you need to. Rotate. Come back. Shoelaces tucked under. Push the bum back this time. Shoelaces, toes tucked under. Stretch into the toes. Remember, all our movement comes up from our feet. And as we get older, the toes and the balls of the feet tend to stiffen up. Those joints, those bones there tend to stiffen up. So stretching them out is really important to keep that movement and flexibility in the feet and toes, definitely. So just holding it there for a moment. And then very gently release. Let us come over onto our side. You may want to grab your cushion and your block. So, side leg series. Remember, you've got 2 options here when you lay down. So you could lay with your arm long. Your head might be just resting on the back of the arm, but just be conscious that your head's not dropping as it does that. So you may want a little thin cushion just between, or a towel rolled up. Or if you've got shoulder issues, you may want to come down and rest like so. We want this band midway on our thighs. And we're just going to lay it in a nice straight line. I feel like I could just go to sleep here actually, to be honest. So letting the arm extend out in front. If you're resting in this position, legs are stacked on top of one another. So we've got our shoulders, our hips, our knees, our ankles, feet stacked. And we're a nice straight line. So take a look down your body, and what you should be able to see is you should be able to see your toes. Okay? And then let the head relax looking forward. Now we've got that pelvic floor, got that contraction going on. The first thing we need to do is imagine someone is taking this top leg and pulling it away. So they're trying to pull that leg away, and that's going to make that top leg seem a little bit longer, and it's going to give us a little bit of a hollowing underneath. We can take the other hand from the top, and it could rest, fingers spread out, it could rest on the floor. Might want to rest on the hips or to the side of the thigh, or you may even want to put it up here to really challenge yourself. We very gently, if we've got no sciatica, flex both feet and lift both legs up off the floor. We're slicing the legs through the air, back and forth, through that midline of the body. So nice and steady, controlled. So again, if you was wanting to challenge yourself more, you could have that arm up. We need to keep the shoulders stacked, the hips stacked, nice and steady. Breathing in, breathing out. Just for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold them out and just hold it there. Hold it there, keeping that stability, that strength. Now change over so the legs slice through and hold it there, keeping those hips stable. So we transition through, there's that temptation, the hips going to drop forward, keep them stable. Just for 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring them together, keep the feet off the floor. Lift up and down, but they're not touching the floor, okay? They hover just above. Up and down. Just for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Gently let the legs come down. Gently bend your knees and just give a little rub, a little pat if you need to. You know, you just hear something and you're like, what's that noise? Okay, let's roll over onto our back, ready for imprints. Remember, you can do this with your cushion, or you may want to move it out. When we finish doing imprints, when we go into bridge, it's really important that we don't have a cushion underneath the head unless you know you've got that overextension. So hands are just resting by the sides of the bottom, feet are hip distance apart, core is engaged, we've got that pelvic lift, we're drawing that belly button down towards the spine. And all we're going to do is start with those simple imprints. So we're going to tuck the tailbone up towards the ceiling, imprint the lower back, the mid back, the upper back, release the upper back, release the mid back, release the lower back. So we imprint and then release. Imprint and release. I've got a feeling that whilst I've been filming this, that my husband and daughter have gone out and they've put Baxter, our dog, in the crate, because I keep hearing like little, that's why I'm like, what is that noise? Nice and steady. So we're imprinting on the whole of the back, is imprinting into the mat and back. So we imprint, yeah, they have, I think, nice and steady. So hopefully you can't hear it. It sounds like a very sod dog. We should have let me know, and I just brought him up here. So nice and steady. I'm even worse because he knows I'm still in the house probably. So last 2, imprinting, and last 1, and then bring it back. Bring your feet together, bring your knees together, and gently just give me a little 5 to 2 and a 5 past 2. So just rolling them side to side, side to side. And then very gently turn the feet out like penguin feet, heels out, and we're ready for our bridge. So We want to have our band, if we're using your band, it wants to be midway on your thigh. Hands are resting by the sides of your bottom. Core is engaged, we've got that pelvic lift. Remember, you're always on that third floor, and we're drawing that belly button in towards the spine. Take a moment to be conscious of where your eye alignment is. We really want to be looking up towards the ceiling. If you're looking behind you, you may need to nod the chin. If you're looking in front, you may need to lift your chin slightly. So core's engaged. Let's tuck the tailbone up towards the ceiling, which causes the lower back to imprint, but then we begin to lift, and it's a sequential move. We lift up and you're holding it in position. We want our elbows, our hips, and our knees in a nice diagonal line. Take your hands to the ribs. Check that the ribs aren't splaying up towards the ceiling. If they are, you may need to reduce the bridge, okay? So you may need to bring it a bit lower. Hold in position. Now, as we hold in position, we're going to lift both heels up off the floor and then take them down. Now, keep your hands on your hips, or bring your hands to your hips, should I say, and lift and keep your hands feeling. What we want is to make sure that the hips are staying level as we go through that movement. So we lift and down, lift and down, lift and down, lift and down. So just 4 more, and down, 3, 2, and last one. Hold them up this time, hold it up. Check those ribs aren't coming up any higher. We still want that nice diagonal line. Should be feeling it even more in the glute. Just for 4, 3, 2, 1. Heels down, upper back, mid back, lower back. Knees and feet together. 5 past 2, 5 to 2. So just nice and steady. Just easing it out a little bit. Turn your feet out like penguin again, and heels turn out. So we've got that hip distance between the legs. Core's nice and strong. This time we're going to lift into bridge again. We take a deep breath. Tuck the tailbone up to the ceiling, imprint the lower back, and then begin to lift. Lift into position. Now this time we're going to make it a little bit more challenging still. So we're going to lift the arms as we lift the toes. So now we've got the arms up above the chest. Bring the heels down. But this time as we lift the arms, we let the arms come over only as far as we can without curving, without the ribs splaying, and then bring them back just to chest height. So we take them back and forth. Just for 8. And 7. 6. You can do this without the arms, of course. 5. If it gets tired, you come out of position, or you could go back to imprints. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. I don't know why I'm singing. Last 1. Bring the hands down. Upper back, mid back, lower back. Feet together, knees together. Gently sway. Gently sway. Now keeping the feet and knees together, take your fingers onto your hip bones and your thumbs onto your ribs. Let them settle in the center, and let's very gently just take out one knee out towards the side. Now we need to keep those hips facing up to the ceiling. So think of them as the headlights of your car. We don't want them to veer off because we can't see the lane, the road in front of us. So as we open it up, we only take it as far as we can keep that hip facing up towards the ceiling. If I was to drop it all the way out, my hip's going to rotate out. So it's really controlled. The other thing to be really conscious of as you go through this movement, so you're inhaling as you push out, exhaling as you bring it back, is what's going on with the opposite knee. Okay, so as we go through this movement, there's one leg that's moving out to the side, the right knee that's staying in place. We want to check, so we could just take a look up and check it's staying in place. If it's wobbling or moving out to the side, what that's telling us is we've not got pelvic stability. So we can make the range smaller. We might want to take our hand onto that thigh and feel like we need to hold it in place. It's a really good way to become conscious of whether, like, oh, okay, have I got the stability in my pelvis when I'm doing this? Do I need to assist it a little bit more? And then you know that that's something that you may need to work on. So last two. And last one. And then bring it back. And what we do one side, we must do the other. So knees are together, index fingers, index fingers, index fingers on the hips, thumb on the ribs. Let's go out to the side. So again, thinking about those headlights, keeping them facing forward on that road. Nice and steady. And I'm breathing in as I'm taking that leg out to the side, and I'm exhaling as I bring it back. So nice and steady, controlled. Well done, keep it going. Again, being conscious, what's going on with this other leg? Is that knee swaying out to the side? Does it need more stability? Does it need assistance? And let's just have 4 more. And 3. And last 2. And bring it back. This time, knees together, index fingers on those hip bones. This time, let's take both knees out. So taking them both out, but keeping those headlights up towards the ceiling. That band's obviously going to give some resistance, and then with control, bring it back. So this is option. If we've got low back issues, we can stay with this option. If we want to make this a little bit more challenging, we could lift the legs up off the floor, knees together, and push the knees out. Now you may want to push your lower back into the mat so you've got no space between the back and the mat. But this is our alternative. So feet stay together and knees open up. Or we just keep it on the floor. I don't think the difference is particularly big between the two. My only concern is sometimes when we take both the legs off the floor, we can be putting more pressure onto the lower back. So it's being conscious about what's right for your body. If you do it and you press in so you've got no space between your back and your mat, and you find, oh, actually, yeah, that feels fine. As in, you can feel the muscles working, you can feel that fatigue, then that's fine. But if you start to feel any pain or discomfort, then I would be saying stick with this option. So I'm sticking with this option because my lower back's pretty rubbish, as you know. So last 2. And I'm just going to take it out this last time. I'm just going to hold it there for a moment. I'm just going to stay there. So I'm going to stay there. I've got that control. I've got that stability. And as I'm holding that position, and I've got that strength in my core, I'm just going to bring another part into it. I'm going to begin to draw and hollow out my tummy. So I'm going to draw it right down as low as I can. So I have that 25-30% contraction going on, but I'm going beyond that now. I want to pull it to 60, 70, 80, 90, whether I can actually get there to 100. Nice and steady, holding it there. So you're feeling that tension. So we're not only working into that stability and strength in those legs, the hips, also bringing extra work into the pelvis, into the pelvic floor, into the abdominals, into the core of the body. And then very gently bring it back. We're going to roll onto the opposite side and work the legs on the opposite side. So you can just roll over. I'm going to change my direction on the mat, so I'm still facing you. So we need to do those leg exercises, that side leg series on the opposite side. So we want to be in a nice straight line. Remember, you can have your arm long, head resting on a cushion or resting onto the arm. Just be conscious that your head's not dropping down, and we're in that nice straight line. So if you're in this position, you're going to have one arm extended out in front, the shoulders are stacked, the hips are stacked, the ankles, the knees are stacked. This band is halfway. You may feel it's getting a bit loose. You may want to tighten it up at this point. One hand on the floor, hip along the leg, or even more challenging, up at the top. So imagine someone is grabbing this top leg and they're pulling it away. So that top leg's becoming longer. If we've got no sciatica issues, we're going to flex both our feet. We're going to lift them from the floor and we're going to begin to slice them through the air. Now being conscious that as we slice, we're not rocking forward. Oh, I can hear Baxter. It's making me feel terrible. I'm teaching after this as well, so I think I'll have to bring him up for my online class. I can't bear the thought of him like, I had him in a class yesterday, he was fine. Nice and steady, and bring it back, hold them split. The only thing was, when I was teaching the meditation at the end, I was really conscious that like he was sat in front of me really heavy breathing, like, and I was thinking, the people who are meditating, are they going to think that like that's me breathing? But apparently they couldn't hear him, so it was fine. It was a live session. I was a bit anxious that I was going to think out it's me panting down the microphone, but it was fine. So hold it nice and steady, gently change over, slice it back through, change over, hold it there, keeping those hips stable, making sure you don't rock forward. Feel mine wanting to tip. Bring them back to the center, double lifts together, up, we never take them down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So just 4 more, and 3, and 2, and 1, hold, and bend, and bring it down. Give it a pat. Give it a pat. Check that it's okay. There's movement. We're rolling onto our back. You can keep the cushion underneath your head at this point. So nice and steady, or your cushion and your block, if you so wish. So feet hip distance apart, hands by the side of the bottom. Lifting one leg up to 90 degrees. If we have no sciatica issues, we're going to flex the foot. Core is engaged, nice and strong. All we're going to do is extend that leg out. Now we've got different options. We may want to extend it up towards the ceiling. We may want to extend it out just diagonally, or we may want to extend it towards the floor. So it's what feels right for you. The most important thing is that you've got that pelvic floor engaged, that abdominal belt in place, but as you go through the movement, this leg comes back to 90 degrees, so the knee and the hip are in alignment. And remember, if you've got sciatica, keep that foot relaxed. That's absolutely fine. Just go through the movement with the foot relaxed. That's absolutely fine. So choose your option. Up to the ceiling, it's the same leg, out to an angle, or all the way down. And then drawing it in. And we're breathing in. Nice and steady. Keep going. So last 4. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Bring it down, straighten to the other leg, lift in position, foot flexed if I've got no sciatica, taking it out. Remember your 3 options, nice and steady. Breathing in, breathing out. Sorry, I could feel another sneeze brewing. Controlled. Taking it out, taking it in. Breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in. So just 4 more. Breathe. I don't know why I do that too, because I can't sing. Last 1. And relax, nice and steady, very gently. Okay, this time, take your cushion and block away from behind the head. Let the arms rest on the floor. And just again, being conscious that the eye alignment is looking up towards the ceiling, not behind, not in front. If we're behind, we're not in that chin. If we're in front, we're lifting that chin. If you've still got that feeling, well, you can still see that you're looking behind, you're still looking in front, even when you've got that extension, then I would suggest very gently just putting like a thin towel underneath your head, like a hand towel or a tea towel, and just see if that makes a slight difference. So nice and steady, excuse me. We are going to roll the chin up, look down the body, lift the hands up the floor, and you're going to give me 10 beats. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring it down. Lift one leg up to 90 degrees. We're going to do the same again. We roll up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring it down. Same again, opposite leg comes up. Make sure it's at 90 degrees. Take a deep breath. Exhale, come up. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring it down. This time we can keep our feet on the ground, or we could lift both. As we lift both, if it feels uncomfortable in the back, we can press the lower back into the mat so there's no space, or we can keep both feet on the ground. One more time. Come up, look down the body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Head comes down. Bring one leg down, bring the other leg down. Walk them out, legs long. Core engaged, nice and strong. Slowly roll up, hands lift off. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring it down, relax. Bend your knees, untie yourself from your band. We're rolling over onto our fronts. So very gently rolling over onto your front. Letting your hands just beneath, so the elbows are just beneath the shoulders, shoelaces are to the floor. This time we're looking forward. Now you may want to stay in this position, or you can slowly slide up, eyes are still looking in front, and then we come down. So we can stay in that first position, just enjoy the stretch, or we can lift and come down. So we inhale, we exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Last two. Last one. Now bring the hands down, at the chest down. Head can rest on the back of the hands, or you may want to grab your cushion or your block and just rest your head there and have the hands by the side. So this time, feet are hip distance apart, hips and pelvis are pressed gently into the mat. We've got that pelvic contraction going on, we've got that abdominal belt in place. We lift the head, we lift the arms, we draw the shoulder blades together, bring them back, and then down. Now you could gently just lift the head and have that position going up and down, or you can lift the head, draw the shoulder blades together, let them have a smooch, let them separate and come down. All the time, really important that the eyes are looking down and not back, not in front. So nice and steady. So inhaling, and the glutes should be switched off. So I can feel my glutes trying to work here. So I've got to be really conscious that they are staying relaxed. They want to be like jello. And I can feel I'm bringing them in. So for me, it's sort of like, right, okay, let's break the movement down, take out the upper body. That's going to stop me bringing them in till I get better control of those glutes. So 2 more. And last one. And then come down. As you come down, let your head turn in one direction. Just let it rest there for a moment. So really important to be conscious when you're going through that movement. Sometimes you think, oh, well, I want to do the harder option. I want to do this. But actually,
like then, when I do the harder option, I can feel like my piriformis coming into play, and I don't want that. I want my bum to be like gel. I want the back muscles to be doing the work. So therefore, I have to take it down. Otherwise, I'm not going to get those muscles working in the right sequential order when I go through movements in life. Turn the head in the opposite direction. And gently bring it back to the centre, very gently. Let one leg come towards the bum. We can grab a hold of the socks, the leggings, or maybe the leg, and just let it hold there, gently pressing in the front. So sometimes you have to make that decision between like, actually, okay, yes, I can do the harder option, but am I doing it right? Am I doing it and getting the right function out of it? Have I got the best form? And if that answer's no, and you know that answer's no, then you're best taking it down a notch, because otherwise you just don't get the results that you want. And ultimately, I think I mentioned this before in many sessions, if not in the studio, but you know, the body, across our upper body, we've got 4 sling systems, 2 at the front, 2 at the back. Gently release, change over. And what those sling systems do is it's like they take us through our movements. So the different movements we have, the muscles should work in different orders. And if those orders aren't working right, then you end up with imbalances and potentially pain or issues in certain place. So that's why it's really important that when we're doing our Pilates, really conscious of what the body's doing, those feelings, those movements, whether things are coming in that shouldn't be coming into play. And just being really conscious in the body. Really important. Very gently, let that leg come down. Bring your hands by the side of the chest. If we've got back issues, we can roll onto our side and come up onto all fours. Otherwise, tuck your toes under. Hands by the side of the chest. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, push up. And then very gently, just take your block or cushion, take it underneath your bum. We're just going to have one last stretch, because I forgot to stretch out your hamstrings today. So let your legs go nice and wide, sitting nice and tall. Make sure if you have got a block or a hard back book underneath your bum, that the softness of the bum is on the block and the bones at the edge. Don't worry if you don't have one. Give me a Kardashian or a duck bum, stick it out a little bit, and then just lean ever so slightly forward. And as you lean forward, you feel that stretch into the back of the hamstrings, and just hold it there for a moment. So just hold it there for a moment. Shoulders back and down. Now let us take a deep breath. As you exhale, slowly come up. Slowly come off that block or cushion. Come onto all fours, toes tucked under behind you. Give those arms a little swing, let them swing about. Let them relax. Take a deep breath. Now as you exhale, take the opposite leg in front, one leg behind. Remember, if we've got the toes tucked under, it gives us an assist. Flat to the floor makes it harder. We want the weaker leg leading forward. Inhale up, step in, exhale down, feet just hip distance apart. Just gently sassy walk it out, swing it out. Let the body be free. And well done. Remember, constructive feedback's always welcome. If there's anything you enjoyed or anything you particularly hated. When I say hated, you may have hated it but felt it was good for you. You're more just like, I don't want to do that ever again, Gemma. Okay. Tailbone tucked under, shoulder blades back and down, core engaged, nice and strong, and you're all done. Well done. Take care. Bye.